I'm going to tell you my thoughts on the internet,
Okay.
and then you just tell me what you think.
All right. Go.
Okay. One, is it correct that the internet is a place to share information?
Yes, supposedly, and all kinds of other things. Yes.
Right, but it's a highway in which we share information.
Yes.
Okay? That does not make anything a fact. In fact, it actually waters down the possibility of it even being true. Okay? Now, that place that we're talking about is where everyone gets their information to argue with everyone else about every single thing that you could possibly think of on the planet.
Correct.
Okay, so you can
Correct.
imagine at this point, when we get 6 threads deep in a Facebook thread of arguing about something, how watered down that has gotten to the point where it's like, fuck you, because we're not talking about the subject anymore. It's been dwindled down to fuck you,
Correct.
right?
It's been dwindled down to just fight or flight. It's like
Go ahead.
the more complicated things get in terms of the transmission of information, I feel like the simpler we get in terms of our reactions. I think we just all go into like, if you're talking about conflict and the internet, I think we just all go down to our like most base primal creature reactions to everything, like
Okay, can
fear,
I
yes,
can I
dopamine.
can I bring this back to nonviolent communication? Like I feel
Please
like
do.
I'm on a roll today.
You are.
So this dude on my social media tried to insult me. Like he wrote a line. So I was like, I'm gonna use nonviolent communication, right? So I asked him like say more, and then he goes, I don't need your permission. And I was like, I go, true. I go, I just wanted to hear your thoughts on the subject. And like I was being very genuine. I was like,
Yeah.
if you're gonna get on here, and then he just never responded. I think because his intentions were to get me pissed off.
Yes.
And I showed up going like, "Hey, well, like you want to like a goofy dog that doesn't know better." I'm like, "You want to talk?" You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Also, like, yeah, add more comments to my thing.
so let me bring it back to what I was saying. And so when I do that kind of thing, it stalls out real quick. But when other people do the other kind of thing, that gets to the point where someone writes on their Facebook, well, you know what? If you don't like what I say, you can just defriend me. And that, I want to ask you, feels like the most narcissistic move. It feels super narcissistic. It's like you're responsible for my emotions of how you made me feel. So you unfriend them. If you don't want them on there, you unfriend them on you do it yourself. Don't threaten people to unfriend you.
Oh, when people say just unfollow me now, like that's
Yeah,
such a
yeah,
thing.
yeah. Yeah, and I'm just kind of, but the point is everything I'm saying is built on bullshit and opinions and facts just sprinkled so far in between. If it was on a plate, you were like, I need more shrimp. What is this? You know what I mean? Like this is one shrimp. Like I need more shrimp than like the facts are so small, right? And
You have an example of this that you can put us in here, ground us in
I
some.
mean, I may try to think of something. Well, example, somebody gets on Facebook and they go, if you don't like hot dogs, you can just unfriend me right now. Okay. What are your intentions for writing that post? So you can replace hot dog with whatever you want to. I know I've seen this post. What are your intentions? Because it sure the fuck ain't to not start a fight. You know what I mean? It's sure not to like, you are looking for that interaction, right? So now replace it in your mind with something really important, something you really believe in,
I feel
abortion.
like, yeah, but I feel like what you're saying, it's interesting. The first thing that came to my mind is you're demanding to feel completely safe and completely validated when you say unfollow me, right? Because what you're saying is if you have any kind of differing opinion or challenge to my worldview,
To me,
you need to leave, right? Which
do that in real
to
life.
put this in touchy-feely terms, because I think in touchy-feely terms, if someone is saying unfollow me if you don't agree with me, I'm like, oh, that's a person who is terrified and deeply needs to feel safe and seen and loved and validated without challenge.
Fantastic nonviolent communication right there, Hannah.
Thank you, Scotty.
You're,
I mean, I'm just
you're
always
gonna be
saying,
so you're so sick of me.
with all of these things, no, with all of these things of like people being ridiculous in their opinions and everyone's arguing in politics, I'm like, all I can see, I don't feel, maybe it's because of where I am in life right now. I don't feel a whole lot of anger or frustration with people right now.
Me neither.
I don't,
I don't
right?
either.
And maybe it's because, right, we don't need to get into why personally.
Can I tell you why I think why real quick?
Why?
Because one, we we work on ourselves, right? We are aware and work on ourselves. And two, the internet is junk food for your brain. Okay. So if you're going to drink sodas and eat crappy food and chips and blah, 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 whatever, when you get on the internet, a lot of times you're feeding your brain junk food. It's all
Yeah.
junk food. So feed it some vegetables like a book or like a podcast, or like just feed it something other than the junk food you're feeding it. That's all I'm asking. Anyways,
Yeah, with all these, right? I just see a lot of pain.
me
I think
too.
that's what it is. I think I see people who are lonely and afraid. And that's where I just feel like all this conflict comes from. So even though it's sort
Of
of like a boring
course.
and milquetoast response to be like, I just see a lot of people in pain, but that's really what it is. And that's so it's why me getting I it's very difficult for me these days to get like fired up about something or to get really enraged about something. Which I'm not saying is necessarily a good thing. I would like to have more pep in my step and maybe have a little bit more skin in the game. But before I can even get to a place of feeling angry, I'm just like, oh man, these people are really struggling. We're all struggling. We're all hurting. If we weren't hurting, none of this we wouldn't be fighting with strangers on the internet. We just
That's
wouldn't.
right. Because I want to believe in that person's everyday life. They don't just walk out of the house and just start fighting with people. They don't just yell out
No.
like they're not just like walking down the mall and they're like, if you don't like hot dogs, don't follow me. But if you
Yeah.
do like hot dogs, follow me. I'm going to this hot dog stand right over here. That was a dad
No.
joke.
No, I mean, I mean, I live in a pretty peaceful place, but yeah, I don't see a whole lot of like actual real world conflict going down in the streets every day.
Let me wrap up this internet because I'm gonna let you out. I've kept you so long. Let's wrap up this internet talk real quick. I think you kind of said it like perfectly. And I think that if everyone would take this moment to do what you said, that this would all work out better for everybody. There'll be a lot less of, hey, unfriend me if they do what Hannah said, which is when you see someone post on their Facebook, if you don't like hot dogs, unfollow me. You should think about what made that person want to write that. Like they must be feeling really upset about the lack of people that enjoy hot dogs or whatever else. No, but you know what I'm saying, right? So instead of like getting on their Facebook wall and going "fuck you, hot dogs suck," I mean, you could say nothing, which would be like probably the best thing you could do is just not respond. And it's so weird when I'm talking about hot dogs, but you really got to replace it with something like, big,
Yes.
right? Or you could just simply be a good human being and a good friend and a
I
caring
would say I
person.
would ask how are you?
How are you doing? That's all you got to do. How are you doing? You know what I mean? Because that's what you would do. Like if you saw a person in real life struggling, I hope that you would go, "Hey, how are you doing?" You know what I mean? Like Not like, man, Hannah's in a shit mood. Guess it's gonna be a rough podcast today.
Ooh,
Hannah, thank you
real.
so much for hanging out with me. I've so appreciated it. I just want to make
Thank
sure I
you,
drop that in.
Scotty.
All
Good to
right.
see you.
Good to see you. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
All right.